Very nice. Because what she picked up was the next step here, okay? Next step is acknowledgement. Not yet. Not yet. Acknowledge first. Remember, it's not about you. It's about who? Them. Okay, I didn't use it today, but the one how many people here, like when I do a sales piece, I go, how many people here like to sell? Okay, good, thank you. How many people, when I mention the word sales, kind of puts a knot in your stomach, not real comfortable with it? Okay, good, thank you. Okay, before I begin, what I want to do, actually what I actually do is I say, the reason I ask the question is because today we're going to cover both sides of the fence on this thing. But before I begin, what I want to do is I want to thank you all for being here. How many people could be someplace else other than here right now? Good, thank you. How many people are still thinking about the other place? Thank you. Now, why do I do that? Because I know they're thinking it. Because I know that in a cold audience, they're thinking it. I got to be here, I got this meeting, I got that, then why am I here? So I'm going to pull it out and put it on the table right away. Everybody understand, yes? Now, you can use that if you want to. In this kind of a context, you wouldn't necessarily need to. But you acknowledge, and she did it extremely well. What did she acknowledge you for? For what? For being here. Good. What else? Commitment. Good. What else? Difficult to going back to school, which is very similar to what I just did. In other words, how many people found school to be somewhat boring or intimidating? Either way. Okay, good. Thank you. So I understand that some of you may have some tough experiences with school, so I really appreciate you being willing to come back and give it a shot here again. That's a huge acknowledgement. Are you a teacher? Yeah. Very nice. Give her another hand on that. Well done. Okay. Typically, the things you acknowledge for are what? Acknowledge people for their what? Time. For their what? Money. And it could be for distance they've traveled. Or their energy. Yeah. But at least that. That's why you heard me this morning. I said, look, and first of all, who did I acknowledge when I first came in? Harv. It's called edify. What's it called? Edify. Always acknowledge source. Said it before, say it again. Always acknowledge what? Source. If somebody brings you in, you acknowledge them first. Because without them, you wouldn't be there. Got it? Got it? How many people are in the network marketing business? Direct selling. Okay, I do about half of my work in the network marketing business. That is the classic, traditional ritual of network marketing. You always edify the upline, right? Always. It's just common courtesy. Okay? So I acknowledge Harv, and then I acknowledge who? You guys. Before I get into me. I didn't even tell you anything about me. Got it? Got it. It's all about who? Them. Okay? Any questions so far? So if you're just everybody stand up. So we're going to do the same thing again. How many of you had breakfast this morning? How many did not have breakfast? And then what I want you to do is do a simple acknowledgement. I want to thank you for being willing to be here today. You have my commitment. I'll do everything in my power to make sure it's well worth your time, money, and energy. Go. Okay, please pause right there. Give your partners a hand, please. Take your seats. Okay. So what have you learned so far? Yes? Okay, so somebody wanted... What was it? What was the acknowledgement? You wanted me to repeat the acknowledgement? What was it? Who does remember? I'm going to do my best, what? Give you your money's worth. Or I'm going to do my best to make sure it's well worth your what? Money. Your, money. The, and your. Come on, do it with me. Do my best to make sure it's well worth your what? Time, money, business, energy. Got it? Now, you can do a variation of that, but that's the minimum. Look, how many people here value your time? How many people got other things to do? You could be doing something else other than being here right now, really. Good. How many people did you have to overcome a few obstacles in order to be here for this 4 days? Good, thank you. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here. Some people didn't make it here, but you did. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure it's well worth your time and energy. Deal?
Deal.
You did very well. Okay? Any other questions about that? Yes.
Well, I have questions about the questions. Would you tend to maybe have 3 or 4 questions? Like, where do you stop the questions? You want to elicit some response from the audience, but would you keep asking if you didn't feel you were getting what you wanted? Would you have 3 or 4 more questions before you would go to the next?
We'll see. Let's just keep it simple right now. We're only into the first 25 seconds of this thing. Okay? I mean, we haven't really gone that far, but the reason I'm spending so much time is this is a microcosm of the whole program. You will do this again and again and again and again and again and again and again, particularly the next step, because what comes next? Scan, she asked 2 good questions, acknowledge the room, then what? What's next?
Permission to introduce myself.
Okay. So, what is it? Go. Wait, first of all, Taylor, you jump up. You do it to this point.
Do my thing up to that point?
Up to through the acknowledgement. Go.
How many of you would like to have as much energy as you did when you were a kid? Thank you. How many of you don't want any energy?
How many of you would not?
How many of you would
Because that's kind of a smart, you-know-what question. So, how many people here would like as much energy as a kid? Is that a great question? Yeah, excellent question. How many people are not interested in that? Just leave it at that.
How many of you are not interested in that? Thank you.
It's okay. Just say thank you.
Well, he raised his hand earlier, and I told him to go take a nap.
It depends on the context. For right now, don't worry about it. I mean, the question is, how many people here would like to have as much energy as you had when you were a kid? Good, thank you. Okay, or you could say, how many people are not interested in that? Okay, good, thank you. Then if you had a bunch of people, how many people know other people that need more energy? Okay, good, thank you. So, you just got to kind of gauge the room, but that comes a little bit later. Just stick with these for right now, because you're looking to get 100% enrollment. Yes?
Isn't saying something like, how many people would not? Isn't that really a waste of your question? Shouldn't you do something with more benefit to it in your second question?